Yes, hello. Yes, hi. Good morning to the colleagues connected from Europe, and good afternoon for those in India. So my name is Frederick. I'm working as a EU delegation in New Delhi, together with Dr. Vivek, who will present later. And today the objective is to give you some, as Dr. Samra from Euroaccess was mentioning, to give you some very clear information on the group. Especially, it's quite difficult in the EU system, and I believe same for India to have the list of requirements. So you have absolutely to be very careful when you answer a call for proposal that you exactly look at the scope of the call, the type of consortium expected. For example, this consortium on battery recycling is very clearly towards industry. So you absolutely need industrial participation, industrial associations, industrial developers. You also need to look at the size of the consortium, the size of the money you can apply for together in a consortium. And obviously, to success, you need good partners on both sides. It's not enough if the European partners are strong. And the Indian are not, or opposite, strong Indian partners and not good enough Europeans. In terms of the strategy, this story is very important because it's based on the TTC, Trade and Technology Council, and it's one important sector of industry in both India and Europe, how to move to recycling of materials. So you need to look when you will put the proposal, and Dr. Vivek will mention it, I'm sure. Look at the policy behind on both sides. Why your ideas make sense? Why your ideas are novel, especially novel from a TRL, technology readiness level point of view, and what will be the consequence or the advantage going for your technology? Because in recycling, there are so different options. You just have to argue the option you take is adequate and for what reasons. I will just give you a few more comments. Now we have a echo here. I hope the audio is correct. I don't see from the chat if please mention something if the audio is not correct. Also for the colleagues who will speak after. Yes, so my last point is to encourage you to start as soon as possible. The deadline is far ahead, but to build a consortium takes time, especially if you have not worked together before. Because you need a large consortium, we expect at least 3 European, at least 3 Indian, but it's very likely, considering the budget per project, will go to 10 and 10 Europeans, 10 Indian. We cannot give you any. There is no notion of giving you the number of people you have to get in your consortium, but the fact that you need academics, research, industry, applications, calls to large teams, and to do that, it really takes time. So I wish you all the best from the EU and MHI perspective. We appreciate the cooperation, and we are sure that we will be able, as Dr. Samrat was mentioning, to do a little bit of hand-holding because in this endeavor it's not easy. And we wish you all the best. Not everybody will success, but it doesn't matter as long as you have been putting energy in putting a proposal. You will be in touch with us at the EU and MHI level, and we will keep you informed of the follow-up of the project's proposal. So thank you very much. I pass back the baton to Dr. Samra, and I hope that the voice will be okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pierre, for the opening remarks and also explaining again the rationale of this call and also the principle of the funding mechanism. I would also like to invite Mr. Ankit Agarwal from the Ministry of Heavy Industries to give the opening remarks on behalf of our co-organizers of today's event. He's just next to me.
Thank you, Dr. Samrat, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to address all the participants from India and the EU side at this very first networking event today afternoon on this day of 26th of May 26. So I again welcome participants, colleagues from India and European Commission, the industry leaders and the eminent researchers to this forum. On behalf of Ministry of Heavy Industries, Government of India, it is my privilege to welcome you all to this Industry Academia Networking and Matchmaking event. Today, we operationalize a critical pillar of this India-EU TTC, that is Trade and Technology Council. We are here to pave the way for breakthrough advancements through our joint call on the recycling of EV batteries. This initiative arrives at a definitive moment for both of our countries and economies. India is experiencing an exponential surge in EV adoption, driven by our fast manufacturing initiatives and ambitious net zero targets. Concurrently, the European Union stands as a global pioneer in circular economy regulations and sustainable industrial practices. As millions of electric vehicles hit our roads, we face a shared and unavoidable challenge of managing the life cycle of these batteries. This joint call focuses precisely on this frontier. It has not just been looking for incremental improvements, but also seeking disruptive technologies in automated dismantling, advanced recovery, and scaling of a safe and traceable, economically viable secondary raw material market. So we must try and extract the maximum value from the spent cells while minimizing the environmental harm. However, bridging the gap between a brilliant laboratory breakthrough and a commercially viable factory floor requires a deliberate partnership, and this is exactly why this today's event is structured around matchmaking. So academia brings the foundation science, rigorous testing, and deep material knowledge, while industry complements with the market realities, engineering scale, and supply chain infrastructure. The India-EU partnership brings the collaborative funding and cross-border synergy needed to make these solutions globally scalable. The Government of India, through Ministry of Heavy Industries and Office of PSA, that is the Principal Scientific Advisor, is fully committed to co-funding and supporting the Indian entities in this consortia. We expect the proposals emerging from this room to be consortium-driven and intensely focused on commercial scalability. So I would request all the participants to use this networking session efficiently so that we complementary strengths and challenge each other's technical frameworks and build a consortium that will define the future of global battery circularity. I would end this call with this and hand over the mic to Dr. Samrat, carry forward the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ankit. And we will now move to the next part of today's event, which is the presentation of the scope of the call. I hope that the audio is moving. I saw in the chat that there's a lot of echo for some of you. I hope it is better now. So our next is a recording from Johan Blundell, who is a yes, I know. No, it's not there. But if Mr. Antonio Marquez Camacho from the European Commission is also online, I don't think so. But what we will do now is we should update the recording. Ankit.
Research and Innovation, and I would like to introduce the coordinated topic on the recycling of electric vehicle batteries. The first element in the topic text as it is published are the high-level expected outcomes, and in this case the topic was selected because it is of common strategic interest to India and the Union. First of all, to improve the efficiency and the quality of recycling processes, but also to recover as much critical raw materials as possible and therefore reduce dependencies. So the first element here is to improve the sustainability, safety, and the affordability of innovative recycling processes. Secondly, because it is a collaborative topic, to share experience on recycling logistics, including the informal processes and supply chain constraints. And then thirdly, very importantly, EU key researchers, institutions, and industries in the field of battery recycling. The next element in the topic text is the scope, and this covers the elements that need to be covered by the proposals. First and foremost, the expectation or the requirement is to have a jointly operated recycling pilot line on Indian soil. In terms of technical requirements, this should go beyond the state of the art in terms of recycling efficiency, the reduction of environmental impact and cost, and it should be compatible with different battery types. So not just the current types on the market, but also the ones that can be expected for the near future, like sodium-ion or solid state. Secondly, the plant should be able to process black mass, including mixed chemistries, so a blend of different battery types. As end product, it should produce lithium with a purity that is suitable for the production of cathode active material. And on the anode side, we also require the projects to look into the recovery of graphite or various blends of silicon and graphite. Now, apart from these hard technical requirements, we also expect the projects to look into logistics, sorting, collection, and discharging of the end-of-life batteries. The first element here is to involve the informal sector, so to establish a reverse logistics process involving end users, collection points, and sales channels. Secondly, to establish innovative and digitalized waste collection procedures towards zero risk. And the aim here is to improve both the quantity and the quality of batteries recycled, the gathering of it. And then thirdly, to have safe, fast, cost-efficient, large-scale discharge and deactivation processes for these end-of-life batteries that still have a lot of energy stored in them. Now, overarching requirement is that the proposals address also a full life cycle analysis of the procedure. So to look into the cost benefits and address also how the site will be operated towards the future. Some additional background, of course, the projects on both sides, Indian and European, should be aligned with the respective missions, policies, and priorities for battery recycling. On the European side, this means that we expect the proposals to build on the results of BAT4EU projects. BAT4EU is the co-programmed partnership we have on battery research and innovation. It already has a number of proposals, topics in there that address recycling, so proposals are expected to take stock of that. Also to include outcomes of battery passport projects to align with the batteries regulation and the safe and sustainable by design guidelines. The proposal is also expected to cover the exploitation of results, including how the intellectual property will be handled between the partners. And of course, the requirement is to have coordinated projects on Indian and European side, meaning that they need to have a strictly synchronized timeline in terms of starting and ending date, but also to have jointly developed research plans so that they really collaborate at a maximum level together. Now, to inspire you, a number of potential areas for collaboration have been listed in the call text. I won't list them here. With that, I would like to wish you the best of luck in the preparation and submission of your proposals, and I would like to thank you for your attention.
This appears to be working. So this was Dr. Johan from the European Commission, who was giving you now a brief over the scope of the call. Next, we will go to the guidelines for the proposal preparation and submission. This is a joint presentation by Dr. William Ham and Mr. Ankit Agarwal. Dr. William Ham is the advisor at the Research Innovation section at the EU delegation to India. And Ankit Agarwal is from the Ministry of Heavy Industry. So we will start with Dr. Vivek. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samrat. Let me thank first the MHI for organizing this event, plus ICAT. Prasad sir, thank you very much. It was a real pleasure and a very warm hospitality to host us, and we really appreciate your efforts. We also thank PSA office for supporting us in this call. Before I go into the details, I just want to, I think Samrat had already mentioned that we want to keep this entire thing very interactive. As due to the GDPR regulations, we are not able to share the contact details of the people. So we encourage people to write down or put their contact details and areas of interest in chat, as well as those who are interested to be part of the consortiums which the people are going to form. They can also share one slide of their contact details and the keywords to Dr. Samrat on the email address of India at EuroAccessIndia.com. So the only thing that you will able to be part of the consortium unless and until you are visible to each other, the Europeans and Indians. So today's event, we are trying to give a platform for the Europeans and Indians to make each other visible. What are the strengths, what are the areas, what are the skills and ideas you have to present so that you can take forward your discussion later on to form a consortium building process. So without going too much in detail, I will just give a brief overview of the modalities of application. So this is a joint presentation of European Union as well as from the Ministry of Heavy Industry. So these are the quick points which I will cover in next 15-20 minutes, and we will open a session for Q&A after that. So next slide, please. So just before going into the details, Pierre had already mentioned about the TTC. Basically, it is a very high-level initiative between the European Commission way back in 2022, initiated by President van der Leyen and Prime Minister Modi. It is a Trade and Technology Council. There are 3 groups, and one of the groups, which is group number 2, which is dealing with the clean and green technology. Under this, we are having a different green and clean technology call. So we already had 2 calls and 4 projects are already selected. The calls were on marine plastic litter, where the 2 projects are selected. Last year, this exercise, the similar exercise was carried out. Also, Ministry of Renewable Energy, we had a call on waste to renewable hydrogen. Again, the 2 projects are shortlisted, so we anticipate those projects to start in the month of July, September. So we will keep you posted. Please tune into the Access website. John, I already mentioned, I'm not going to give you the details what exactly the call means because this is actually a virtual mine. And I see this is a very futuristic call because the EV penetration in India is increasing every day. I keep on receiving details from Utkarsh all the time that this is a very upcoming field. So this is very timely and futuristic call. So we believe that having this recovery initiative will be mutually benefited from the European and Indian side. So I will not go into the call details. The recording of John presentation will be available to everyone. We will share after the event. Next slide, please. This session is also recorded, isn't it? Yeah. So we will also share the recording of this sessions to everyone. These are a quick snapshot of different keywords that you need to keep in mind when you are following this entire application process. The entire call is available on EU funding and tender portal. So this portal was on numerical code. So Horizon CL520609DL204 is the code. So this is the exact text which is also published on MHI website. This is an innovation action which is encouraging TRL 7.8. Basically, the deadline for this particular call is September 15th from Indian and European side. It is a funded call. European side, it is 99.5 billion euros funding for the European consortium, and the MHI is giving 65 crore rupees of funding to the Indian consortium. So we anticipate 1 project fund, so the competition is very high. And as it is an innovation action, so the duration of the entire completion of this pilot plant is limited to 36 months. So the entire project can go maximum 36 months. You can have a less, but the maximum is 20 or 36. TRL level, as I mentioned, 7 and 8. From the EU side, as John had already mentioned, that these are like a jointly developed project. It cannot be in isolation. The entire scientific project has to be jointly developed by Indian and European consortium. And for that, the linked work packages are required, which is integral part of the proposal, that is scientific part of the proposal called B, the part B. The Indian entities will participate in this particular call as an associated partner. I will come to in detail what does it mean, associated partner. The same thing from the government of India, the prerequisite to qualify for Indian funding, that you need a minimum 3 Indian partners. And out of the 3 Indian partners, 1 partner has to be an industry. The Ministry of Heavy Industry insists that this particular call or the project should be led by industry. And you can have more partners from academia or any other sectors. So those details will come. The European, you need 3 European partners from 3 different European countries. I will give you details about all this. So all the information about the call text, because this is the core website. So the first keyword of today is funding and tender portal, and the call, the code of the call, that is D204. So this is the only authentic text of the call you should refer to, because all the information available on the website, you should be referred only from funding and tender portal. If you go towards this particular call, you will also find the submission button of over here. So I will give all the details in my next slides. Next slide, please. So MHI also published the guidelines for the Indian applicants, which is also available on MHI's website. So you can just keyword the EU-India EV battery call and you will get it easily. So we have spent sufficient time to develop this guideline. So it is a well-written document. So this applies to the Indian side. But the core of the entire thing, because this has to be a joint project, a jointly scientific project should be developed jointly. So, I may repeat this quite several times, but this is the core. The project is financially separate, but scientifically one. The technology challenge is one. So whatever you will prepare, it has to be jointly prepared, and your financial things are separately submitted to the respective funding agencies. This is what the eligibility conditions which are mentioned on the European Commission website as well as the MHI's website. So prerequisite, if you ask me what does the qualify for the both the sides funding eligibility, that you need a 3 Indian partners and 3 European partners. That is the minimum requirement. And I will repeat this again and again because these are multinational, multilateral, cross-sectoral projects. We want the different skill set of people to come together. When we look at this, when we were designing this particular call, I'm not a subject specialist, but I could see that it is like a puzzle, which we are coming together with the different technologies, different processes together from Europe and India, and you are trying to co-develop or build a pilot plant with the know-how from each other. So this is the logic or the essence of this particular call. Next slide, please. So the EU eligibility applies to the European side. That is, the European needs to have at least 3 European partners from 3 different European countries. Out of that, 1 partner has to be from the European member state. 2 other partners could be from the member state or associated country. I will come to that. So, and the Indian entities participate as an associated partner. 1 lead work package at least should have Indian partners into it. So this is the EU requirement. Next slide, please. But if you come to a MHI's slide, it is more explicit that MHI would like to have a parity in cooperation. So when they are asking the European 3 partners, so the MHI also do require 3 Indian partners to match minimum. It can have more partners. It is not limited to 3 plus T. But basically, when you are having a European projects, it is normally 8, 10, 15 consortium members. That is a normal size of consortium, but this all depend on the scope of the project. So the 3 more entities from Europe and India is the basic requirement. A scientific proposal, that is always you will find even in MHI's guideline that part B. There are part A, which is administrative part of the European application process, and part B is a scientific proposal, which is download format. This part B has to be jointly developed between the European and Indian to submit the same proposal to the both the funding agencies. So MHI also put a prerequisite that the application from the Indian side, it should be led by the industry, and the Indian industry should be under the Company Act 1956 to the 2023. So there is also important point that each European and Indian should take in consideration, because the entire pilot plant to be on an Indian soil. That is the first word which is written in the context. So the MHI anticipate that the consortium, basically leading this consortium industry, should provide the land for this pilot plant, and this land should be given as a consortium contribution of a free of cost. In addition to that, you will have a grant of 65 crores from the MHI. Is that correct, Ankit? Yeah. So please correct me, because I'm just trying to speak from both the sides. Then the commercial viability of the plant should be 2 years after the completion. That is mandatory requirement. And this all details, funding related details, everything is nicely explained in the guidelines, and we have given the links as well. who can participate from the European side. It is basically anyone who has a capacity to solve, to contribute to this particular problem is eligible. It could be from industry, it could be from municipal corporations, it could be from NGOs, it could be from public authorities. You name it, those entities who has a capacity and skills to contribute to develop and pilot plant and solve this challenge is most welcome to be a part. This entity should be registered and be from the European member state or associated country as a legal entity from that, so that take care by default from the European side. From the Indian side, it is open basically the companies, that is the lead company. It could be from SMEs, it could be big companies or startups. This all depend, but the company should be registered under the Company Act. The Indian side also can include the R&D centers, scientific institutions, universities, autonomous bodies. When it comes to a coordination, that is the lead company from the India should have a minimum worth of 25 crores. That is what the basic requirement the MHR had put forward. Next slide, please. So the 20 European member state and associated country. So if you see, this is a group of almost 58 countries, and there are more. So it is like a group of 51 countries where you can find a partners from. So the whole of these European countries are 27 member states. So I think France, Germany are very strong partners always with India. Again, there are Sweden, Netherlands, Poland, then Spain. There are so many which have a bilateral collaborations with India. So you can choose anybody from that 27 group. Also, there are 21 associated countries to this particular program. Mainly, there is also Switzerland, UK is part of this particular program. So you can also include the entities from Switzerland, UK, and other, the list of 21. In addition to that, recently the Japan also had joined the Horizon program. So all this makes a group of 51 countries. You can add partners from any of these countries you want to form a consortium. Next slide, please. So consortium formation, as I said, three independent entities from Europe. So basically minimum three Europeans, one from European member state, and the Indian entities participate as an associated partner. So it should be more than one Indian entity to be part of the consortiums again. So basically, what I see to qualify, qualify this particular proposal, you can have different members from Europe and India to be part of this. So you have to have a consortium which is a multidisciplinary, multi-sectoral stakeholders to make it very comprehensive, which is problem-solving consortium. So the scientific part should be the same. Again, repeat, because the evaluation will be based on the scientific proposals only, and it is a joint proposal and joint panel. So we are not going to see any other proposal which is submitted to MHI. Okay. So the identical proposal which is submitted to Horizon Europe should be part of also the MHI's submission portal. So this is very crucial. Again, I will repeat several times because this is the message we want to convey, that it should not be done in isolation. Otherwise, there is a risk that it may not go forward with the funding from both the sides. Because if the Europeans are failed to get the MHI funding, then they are unable to go forward. If the Indians are unable to get the EU funding there, so that is why we made a conscious effort to put the joint panel together to have this uncertainty of evaluation. We try to minimize. Next slide, please. So the EU funding, it will be done as per the European Commission Horizon Europe rules and regulations. We are putting 9.5 million euros for a European consortium. It is a lump sum amount of funding. So the profit-making entities, the standard rate is around 70%, and the profit-making, non-profit-making entities will get 100% thing. But these are very standard. So European participants who are regularly participating knows all the details into that. So this is available on Vertical and Tender portal, all the details of our European side. And the European side only will sign the European grant agreement, and the Indian will sign MHI's grant agreement. So financially separate, scientifically joint. Next slide. Do you want to say, Ankit?
Thank you, Vivek, for this date. I would now like to throw some details on the Government of India funding requirements. So, the Government of India funds up to 80% of funding rates of the approved project costs, limited to rupees 65 crores. So, approximately projects up to 81 crores would be funded 80% by Government of India. And in case the project proposed by the consortium is more than 81 crores, then the percentage of Government of India shall reduce, but the amount will remain ceiling capped at 65 crores. So 20% minimum mandatory industry consortium contribution, and it requires fresh cash infusion, not existing facilities will be counted as the infusion from the consortium. So in-kind contributions will not be allowed. Any existing staff salaries, use of current facilities and equipment will not be counted as the contribution from the contribution side. And Government of India shall follow a reimbursement mechanism to provide the funds to the consortium, and they would be exclusively released to the industry lead partner from the Indian side, who will be responsible for proportionately sharing the funds based on the project breakup between the consortium partners. So advance payment of up to 10% of approved cost, limited to rupees 6 crores against a bank guarantee of equivalent amount. This bank guarantee would be valid for a period of minimum 4 years, that is 3 years is the project execution period, followed by 1 year of sustainable operations. Once the 4 years are over, the bank guarantee would be released back to the consortium leader. And while 20% and this 10% advance amount would be recovered from the running bills that would be submitted half yearly to the Government of India through MHI. So what are the eligible cost categories that will be funded by Government of India and MHI? So it will be the plant, equipment and machinery limited to 60% of the approved project cost. Research and development of the EV battery cycling limited to 15%. Civil works 10%, personal and manpower, consumables, travel, and any other project overhead related costs as per the percentages mentioned here and also replicated in the guidelines. So the key rules and limitations are that the Indian consortium members must follow the Government of India guidelines and the General Financial Regulation, that is GFR 2017, and its amendments thereafter. Expenses by the Indian members requested to the extent possible, I would say, to be done within India. It is not that it is mandatory you have to spend everything in India, any foreign expenses are allowed, but we encourage to develop things in India so that we can move on to the path of self-reliance also. And the most important is that the land cost will not be funded by Government of India. Any kind of land for the setting up of this pilot project has to be arranged by consortium, and it is not counted as a part of the 20% contribution. The territorial restrictions, the Government of India will fund only the Indian consortium members for activities carried out, and no transfer of Indian government funds shall be going to the European members or the European consortium members. Indian and European budgets have to be comprehensive and self-contained, and all costs for the costs, shipments, customs, travel, installation, etc., have to be budgeted by the responsible side, and all the payments by the Indian government shall be made in Indian rupees only. No foreign exchange payments or the exchange rate variations or cost escalations will not be covered by Government of India. So the key conditions for the Indian applicants from the Government of India side, the Indian consortium has to be led by an industry member. Must be a company registered under the Companies Act 1956-2013 and should have a minimum net worth of 25 crores. So we follow an 80-20 funding model. The government of India funds up to 80% limited to rupees 65 crores, I reiterate, and the consortium must contribute minimum 20% from their own resources. Land again have to be arranged by the industry partner or the consortium or all together. Government of India will not fund any land cost and is not an eligible expense. The commercial viability, the pilot project has to demonstrate the commercial viability for a minimum of 2 years after installation within 3 years. Post-project sustainability, the projects must include a clear commercialization plan, operational continuity, offtake arrangements, and the financial sustainability beyond the term. Civil works, as I mentioned earlier, is an eligible expense. However, the government of India would be limiting the expense to 10% of the approved project cost.
So this is we are actually targeting TRL 7 and 8 under this particular pilot plan. So as this is a high TRL, the industrial participation is more and more delivered. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, this is a highly competitive and technology-oriented project. I urge European and Indian consortium members to look into the IPR and the consortium agreement at the time of development of the entire proposal. Please read the MHI guidelines as well as from the European Commission guidelines. So obviously, at the time of consortium agreement, which will be submitted by the biddings, proposal, we will have some adjustment needs to be done. But the message over here that as it is a highly technology-oriented project, we need to sensitize the members that they should safeguard their own interests and IP management be discussed upfront so that later on issues should not be arise. So we want the amicable solutions, like-minded people to come forward and make this proposal to be sorted out at the beginning till the end, very easy way to implement. Otherwise, it will be a tough task. So this is a request from both the sides that make sure you from day one you take care and discuss the IP related points upfront. And from the European side, they will apply Horizon Europe grant agreement conditions, and which I had already given their conditions. And then the consortium agreement, which is the only document which will be signed between the consortium of Indian and European, has to find this cross fertilization of different laws. But that is at the time of winning proposal who will be invited for a grant agreement signature. Next slide, please. So, Horizon proposal structure, as I mentioned, the Horizon structure will be two parts. One is part A and part B. This is entirely handled by the European side coordinator. So, the part A is more administrative form. So, the Indian entities who are participating as an associated partners need to give a lot of information about fulfill the entire administrative aspects. That is, one is peak number, that is participation identification code. I will come to that point later on. And part B, that is the scientific part, which is a download format of proposal. It has to be jointly developed by the Indian and European coordinators and consortium members and submit the same proposal to the same both the funding agencies. Exactly the same, should not have any discrepancy. Next slide, please. Dual submission process. The first submission of the entire proposal will be done by the European coordinator, that is part A and part B, to the Horizon tender funding and tender portal by the European coordinator as a main lead. There will be another Indian co-coordinator, or we can say a scientific coordinator, who will take care of scientific B part of the Horizon. And then there are annexes of different financial requirement annexes which MHR had already given in the guidelines to be completed by the the Indian consortium members. So part B and the annexes to be submitted to MHI via email. The email address has been given. Next slide, please. So administrative conditions, as I mentioned, funding and tender portal. The scientific part, which is a download format, which has a limited page number, you cannot exceed more than that. It has to be strictly 45 pages or less. You cannot use more than that. And again, the scientific part being identical to be submitted on the same time to the MHI so that there is a same proposal and same timing has been achieved by both the funding agencies, because we will also tally the proposals, acronyms, and the details internally. Next slide, please. So the timeline, the call is open on 5th May, closing on 15th September. It is also 15th September is the GOI MHI's deadline. Evaluation we anticipate to complete within 3 months. Estimated application information by December or early January. The grant agreement will be invited and will be completed by April, May, and we anticipate the projects to start either in June or July 2027. So it is very strictly, timelines are very strict. We cannot delay anything. So we take our words that Indian side also needs to follow the similar timeline. We cannot compromise and wait for the Indian side. So this will be a synchronized timeline. Both the sides will have that. Next slide, please. So the evaluation, as I mentioned, it will be a joint evaluation by both the sides. It is a joint panel of Indian and European experts sitting together. The evaluation will be done on 3 criteria: excellence, impact, and implementation. So, proposal, that is the scientific part B, is already formatted or has been categorized in this particular fashion. You will get the entire evaluation summary, whether you are selected or not selected, a detailed summary report from the evaluation panel. This is done one of the most transparent and efficient way of the evaluation. Next slide, please. So how to find a partner, my friend Samrat will give you all the details how to find the partners. But one of the best way that existing networks are the best way, because you people are working in the field since so long, so you know who are the actual stakeholders from Europe, and Europeans also will rely on your networks in India. So the baseline over here, you need to be visible to Europeans, and Europeans need to be visible to Indians, and that is why the Euraccess website will be an ideal platform to share the contact details so that we can exchange the contact details and take care of the discussion. Next slide, please. So the takeaways, the one point is very important, that PFMS, that is the Indian government system is required. I don't know whether the industry follows the PFMS system or money. No. Okay. So that is optional, but that is mentioned in the slides. But overall, you have to be precise 90 days in hand for a submission of proposals. So you need to find a partners, which is quite challenging. But once the consortiums are formed, make sure those people stay till the end of the proposal, because we also saw that a lot of people are drifting away at the time of grant agreement. So make sure your partners are fully committed. Amicable, partnership are always welcome. You have to make sure that these people stay until the end of life of the entire project, that is after the 36 months. So choose your partners which are 101% committed to each other. They will leave the part, because we have some issues. Withdrawing the partner will also, make the consortium balance difficult. So we always encourage people that they are 100% committed from the beginning. Next slide, please. So these are the contact details. Any issues related to finance and applicable application related, you can also contact Vikas and Siddharth also. Ankit is also available online, and we are also available for any support. But mostly the Europeans will follow the Indian thing. There are just one more slide. So this is the associated partner, the European. You need to make sure that the European coordinator is informed that your budget is mentioned as an associated partner in PV, so that the Indian evaluator, the evaluation panel knows approximately how much money you are going to ask and what is the total cost of the project proposal. Next slide, please. Next. Yeah. So this is, I will leave this slide. This is the peak number, which is because the entire European website is, what it's called, it is identity-based login. So you need to create your login account as well as the peak number of organizations. All the details are available. So I think the European coordinator will help you out with the process of that. But in case you need any help, me and Samrat will be available to handle some of the points which you need a clarification. I will stop it here and we will hand over to Samrat, and then we will take all the questions what you have, and then we open for a pitching session. Yeah, Samrat, over to you.
Sure. Thanks so much, both of you, Dr. Vivek and Ankit. I think a very comprehensive presentation, very clear, it's very detailed. But I think it was very well outlined by both of you, what is required from European partners and what is required from European partners. What I will do now in a few minutes is just to give you like a generic overview how to find partners for EU Horizon Europe calls. I assume that some of the attendees are not so familiar with Horizon Europe, how this program works, and so what we do basically now is to give you a quick overview how you can like strategically inform yourself about partnerships, how you can strategically look for partners, not only for this call, but also for other calls which are under the Horizon Europe award programs. As already Dr. Vivek mentioned, that most like Horizon Europe call in general requires 3 legal entities from different EU or associated countries, and in addition to that, countries which are not associated with the program like India can be partners. They cannot be beneficiaries unless there are specific call requirements which mention that India could be a beneficiary, or there are joint calls or co-funding calls, like in the case of this battery call, where the Indian consortium partner side will also be funded and be a partner. Finding partners, of course, for any kind of international project is crucial for the success of the project. Whereas Europe has 3 pillars, the program is structured in the 3 pillars, and in all the 3 pillars, there is a possibility for international collaboration. Pillar 1 is probably you've heard about the European Research Council and Maurice Security Actions. They also have the possibility for international researchers to collaborate with European partners. And then Pillar 2, which focuses on different clusters and is about global challenges, also has a very strong collaborative research agenda and requires strong partnerships across countries and sectors, which is very essential for the Horizon Europe program. Now, Dr. Vivek already mentioned the main important side for you is the funding, the EU's funding and tender portal. And each call topic, like the battery call, for instance, if you type in the call ID, you will see that there is a tab which is called Partner Search. And when you go to that Partner Search and click it, you will see that there are possible for you to view and edit expression of interests. So here you will see that there will be, at the moment, I checked yesterday evening, there were around 60 expression of interest from European companies, European institutions who are looking for partners, for building a consortium, who are offering their expertise. So that's an excellent opportunity for you, if you don't have a network now of European partners, to go to the call ID in the funding and tender portal and there you can search for expression of interest. You can view them. You can contact those European researchers and R&D companies who are looking for partners for this call. Another, I would say, very relevant website to find potential partners is CORDIS. That's the European Commission's project database. Here you will find all the participants from all the past or ongoing EU-funded projects. So if you go to the CORDIS website, we will recommend you that you search for battery, look for EV battery as a keyword, and then you will see all the calls which have been funded by the EU in the past, and then you will see who are the PIs, who have been the project partners, where are they, which institution, and you can reach out to them, for instance. Most probably, many of those who have been in previous calls on EV batteries are applying for this call as well. So it's a very good time for you to reach out if you are looking for partners in Europe. You can use CORDIS. There's also the Horizon Europe National Contact Points, which are assigned experts by the European Commission for each and every, for Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 for each cluster. They are also very helpful. They're located in the different EU countries and associated countries, and they can also help you to find partners in their country. You can also reach out to them through the NCP, it's called website. Of course, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, these are also like platforms to search for partners, to search for colleagues who are working in a similar field. And then, of course, networking info events, as we do, are an excellent opportunity for finding potential partners for networking. So this is basically back to the funding and tender portal site. I have, you just visit, you click on it, and then, as I said, you go to the partner search tab, and you see the expression of interest. And you can also upload your own expression of interest. So basically, you can create an expression of interest where you present yourself, your expertise, what you could bring into a consortium. Now, what is very important is that when you are reaching out to European partners, you should align your expertise with the call topic. It's very good to present yourself, your research, what you have done, but for the European partners, because they are already in a more advanced stage of consortium building, so they are not looking for somebody who has a very good knowledge of EV battery and recycling EV batteries, but they're looking for somebody who understands the topic, and who can align his expertise to the topic. That's very important. If you are networking and reaching out, that's one of our main tips. Please read beforehand very carefully the call guidelines, the scope of the call, and try to align your expertise with the call so that you can be interesting for potential consortium partners. Yeah. Of course, reach out early. Now it's high time because most of the European colleagues are already preparing consortium. So in Europe, the European side, they already start earlier. We were still in a good time because the call launched just a couple of weeks ago. And as Dr. Vivek said, we still have 90 days for it. So it's a very good time now to search and be active. You can also use the Euraccess partnering tool. This is also not only for this particular call, but for any kind of partnership we're looking with European colleagues. You can create your own profile, both your institution or as an individual. You can create and be visible and search for partners. Yeah. Again, the tips, as I already mentioned, be very clear about your expertise, your capacity, and the expectations also you have for partners. Right. Try to attend Euro matchmaking info events early in the call cycle, in the work program cycle, so that you get to know who is there, where are the potential partners. You can contact coordinators from previous projects. And as I said, try to, if you are pitching, always try to align it with the call's expected outcomes. And just lastly, 2 minutes I would like to take to present to you Euraccess, which is the project I am working for the European Commission here in India. It's an initiative to strengthen research collaboration between Europe and the world. We are basically having different kinds of service tools for researchers and organizations across the world. We have for incoming researchers to Europe, we have a lot of information on systems. We have a jobs and funding portal where there are daily thousands of job opportunities in Europe in research and innovation in academia, but also in the industrial sector. So you can also browse if you're interested in a long-term career in Europe. You can use the job and funding portal to see if there are any jobs available. And we are also linking the rest of the world with Europe to our project officers in 9 different hubs. And you can see that this is basically our team. At the moment, we have a hub in North America, in Latin America, in India. We have in Africa, China, Korea, Japan, ASEAN, Australia, and New Zealand. So these are my colleagues who are doing the similar work as me in India, trying to connect researchers with Europe. Here Access has been, this project has been here since 20 years. You can see different kind of activities and services that we have. And we will also share, of course, and upload all our slides and presentations on the Access website, of the event website, so you can access them and browse through them. Just to some figures, how many job vacancies are published annually on the job Access portal, more than 60,000, more than 1 lakh registered users, and thousands of funding and fellowship opportunities every month are available in Europe. That's Access in India. That's me and Dr. Leila Jacobson together. We organize info events and webinars and different kind of sessions for EU collaboration. So you're very welcome to become a part of the Access India community. We have currently more than 26,000 subscribers to our newsletters and news alerts. Here we provide you with first-hand information on upcoming funding fellowship opportunities in Europe. India R&I policy updates, partnership collaboration updates. So please, take advantage of us and sign up. You can, just also, of course, follow us on social media. But if you are interested to receive regular information on EU funding and fellowship opportunities, you can just sign up for free and become a member. And of course, as I said, you can of course reach out to us through social media. And happy to connect, of course, with you on LinkedIn. With that, I close my presentation now, and we open up the floor for any kind of Q&A. I would say, yeah. Of course, yeah, that is also is not on the agenda, but we can definitely include it. So.
Before we shift to the ICAT presentation, Dr. Meenakshi Singh from the French Embassy is available here. So Meenakshi could be a useful resource person to connect with the French entities. Do you want to add some word, Meenakshi? Sure. Because she's coordinator for science and technology at the French Embassy. So she could be a very good liaison person to contact with the French entities looking for a French partner. So we want to add something, I'm sorry to put you in, but you will be the important role to connect the Indians with the French.
Yeah, thank you, Vivek. As of
now, you can take the mic.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you, Vivek. So as of now, I have nothing to add. I'm looking forward to the visual presentations from the Indian as well as European members. And of course, I'm at your disposal if you need any connection with any French entities. I'll be there to help you out. Thank you.
The mic has been disabled for me. Screen sharing. No, it is disabled. Not today.
Yeah, now it is. Much. It should work.
Yes. Works. Thank you.
It is.
Gentlemen, thanks for Larry, thanks for the opportunity. I will walk you through what we can offer from the technology perspective of the evaluation perspective of India for the battery or mineral. So I will go through ICAT is a pretty almost we are going to complete 20 years by September. We are basically engaged in all the regulatory aspects and type approval and homologation of various things as per Government of India and several global regulations. So we come under the Ministry of Heavy Industries under NAB, and we are located at ICAT Manesar, operation since September of 2006. To see here, we have one of the best, I can say one of the world-class best infrastructure, which can be compared to anybody all over the globe, with all the aspects, whatever is required for automotive. And we not only do it for automotive, we have diversified beyond automotive, we do it for several components, which can be used for many other things. If I have to take the example of a battery pack is a power source. BESS, RESS, called in different terminologies. The same battery pack can be used for powering many things. And we have the flexibility, we have the capability, we have the advantage, knowledge. My entire team, they are highly skilled and knowledgeable to evaluate, not only evaluate, to try and to consult on what needs to be done. That is the potential what we have, which we would like to open for the entire sectors. Sectors, irrespective whether they come from institutions or industry or consortium. That's what potential we have. And basically, if you see, we have several smart initiatives. It is not just not limited to it is beyond what we have seen on screen. If I have to say here, India and globally, you name any of the manufacturers or ancillaries or anything, we are doing with them. So they all come here for various things. Since the word automotive is involved, we are there, but beyond that, all medical equipments who have different types of battery power sources, they also come here for various things. We are one of the best in the infrastructure related to EMI, ENC, electronics related. We also utilize our capability and facility. These are some of the enablers which we do, which we keep conducting every on yearly basis. There are various things. I'm not getting to each and everything. What this brings us is what you are referring to as consortium. We create a platform so that all partners who want to see and evaluate, take support, they can take use of it. If you look at our presence globally when it comes to approval or for certification of any aspect, for us, we are linked with almost all the global regulations. I'm not getting into details. Whoever have any question, please feel free to stop me. Just for your information, we are also engaged with IDIARA and TV Rangla, and we have a MOU and several things do happen. This just for information. This is in place since Manesar 24. This is the many of the regulatory frameworks we are heavily engaged and involved because this needs to be kept but independent of the industry and the academic share. to make sure that everything is in place and always in place. This is what we are there. If you look at the last lines, somewhere we are mentioning as charger and components and hydrogen fuel cell. These are some of the specific things which may be relevant to today's discussion. There's no we have technologies. There are several things under development. These are the patents which we were filed last year. We being service providers or evaluator, we cannot have our own data. So we support them with full confidentiality without any disclosures. And the other thing which you have to do, remember, there are various specific conditions for India. And these conditions, from the automotive perspective or from the battery perspective or any other power source, needs to be fulfilled. And all these things, for us, to a great extent, can be simulated in-house here within our facility, so that we don't have to go to those specific geographical locations. That is the advantage what we have. And if you want why we have, I am specifically telling each and any battery or power source behavior in these things are totally different. And how these variations, what it happens, even with the recycling perspective, we want to do it at a different geographical location. Those things can be simulated and established on how the behavior and what can be the outcome. Some of the green initiatives to say, when we are very proud of, we already have an installed capacity of almost 1.2 megawatt. That's what we already generate. And we also have in the rainy season, we're working on all the rainwater harvesting. And towards the end of here, we intend to have our own water facility to remove outside. This is already, if you just specifically targeted one here. Sustainable recycling of critical materials. When we are telling us critical materials, this is going to be one of the crystal or a critical source for India as a country. Not only that, because several geopolitical scenarios, situations which may evolve, we need to have our own facility. Why I'm telling this is, if we have to going forward, if somebody has to embark on LCA or LCIA, those things become even more critical. That's what we are already looking at. It's already one of our dream to be in. Just put some blue boxes here. If you see gas analysis, even when you are doing recently, we are going to have several gases which emanate. And these gases which emanate when you are doing either a hydrometallurgical process or a pyrotechnic, you are going to get it. So our objective is to see how we can minimize, how we can help, which was our consortium is going to minimize them. And there are several scenarios where we don't have equipment for this. When we have our own team, we build it as a required and make sure this does get delivered. Yes, that's in short summary on what we are, how we can do, how we can support the entire consortium in multiple ways. So that everybody can do it fast and be on the mark. Okay.
So your contacts are there, no, in the slide.
Yes, you can take it up.
Yeah. So we will share the slides on the event page. So Samrat, we can open the event.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now for another 10 minutes before we start with the pitching is to have open a Q&A session with our speakers here, especially, of course, Dr. Vivek, Ankitji. I would say we can start with those of you who are here on the side, the participants here in the room. If you have any specific questions regarding the guidelines and the scope of the call, it's now a good opportunity. And for those of you who are online, also the panelists, if you have any questions, please, raise your hand and we will give you the floor. Also for the audience, If you want to ask questions, you can raise your hand, or you can also just write them in the chat, and we will try to answer them. Okay. Any questions?
Hello. Hello. Sorry. So the question is like.
Also, could you introduce yourself shortly?
Myself, Tulsi Raman from IIC Bangalore. So I'm currently showing the Center of Excellence for IoT Manufacturing, which is funded by Ministry of Heavy Industry. So and also we are a Center of Excellence for critical minerals. We are one of the Center of Excellence for critical minerals, where we are looking into recycling of some of the end of life material and certain components, basically tungsten and including some of the battery materials. So the question is like, see, we already mentioned Indian companies, some of the companies have already recycling units. So whether they are eligible to apply for this? Yeah. Okay. See, for example, already the black mass is there in the industry and they are trying to recycle. Or we get always a fresh company which doesn't have a technology or this. So can you try to brief on that? So?
Yes. Basically, it is open for everyone. Even you have, because we know there are Indian companies already in recycling. So what we anticipate that going for a upscale, a step further. If you see the recovery, what anticipated or challenge has been put forward, it is the next step. So you can have an existing industry which are going to upscale and having a new components of technology which can be cost effective, more effective in mineral extraction and everything. So it's we can also, that is why the European partnership will be beneficial for you to upscale your technology.
Okay. So the other question I have is like in level 6, 7, and 8 was stated, right? So is there any numbers around that? So for example, per annum, this much of tonnage we recycle. Is there any definition defined on that definition?
No, as such, I don't see any specification of quantity that needs to be defined, because we kept it quite open. The challenge is written quite open. So the competitiveness of the proposal will, the evaluators will also see that how much you are going to, because we don't want to put, because these are quite new technologies and it is very hard to get this into the entire purification process. So when we were defining the call text, we wanted to keep it as open as possible. We give freedom to the entire consortium that best possible technologies or pilot you can do. So as such, you are free to select.
Okay. So the other question is like also you mentioned that autonomous bodies. What you so even autonomous bodies can apply for this program and lead the program.
Autonomous bodies means the Indian government has a different certification. Okay. So sometimes the research foundations are there, which are, because it is all about the categorization or the certification of the government of India as given. What we want, that any entity which is part of the consortium should have the ability and the skills to solve and contribute to the government. Okay. Now Ankit is here, he will check the administrative whether you are legally correct entity or not. As far as most of the people we are encouraging from like the R&D private institution, DSIR recognition. The industry has already had those people who are from other sectors are also requested to have a specific recognitions from Government of India which are not regularly participating in R&D programs. So Ankit, you want to add something? I don't know, was body related to the point. Yes. Yeah, thanks.
So, autonomous bodies, in the sense, independent legal entities, out of which one mandatorily has to be a company. Consortium from the Indian side is expected to be like this. It has to be led mandatorily by an Indian company, which is registered and owned more than 50% by the Indians. And second thing is, it should have a net worth of more than 25 crores. the balance 2 or more members can be companies, they can be R&D institutions, they can be academia, universities, or they can be autonomous bodies in the sense the organizations who are doing some independent research or independent technology development. So those kind of autonomous bodies, but it autonomous bodies not in the sense of say urban local bodies or those kind of non or semi or non-government organizations. We do not intend normally to have a consortium with them. The larger intention is with the companies or and academia and R&D bodies. So independent R&D bodies you can consider as autonomous bodies.
Well, let me ask very common question like Section 8 companies, for example. Section 8 companies which are non-profitable companies.
I think you may submit your query in writing. We'll have to check what you are referring to Section 8 companies specifically, whether they are admissible or not. We will reply to it. So that would be my submission presently.
Sure. Thank you.
And like you were asking about whether the existing battery recycling companies can apply, they can definitely apply. There is no restriction. However, since this is more of an R&D and a pilot project call, so we do not want that the technology which is already commercialized by them again to be funded. So the idea behind this, there has to be a technology innovation, it has to be scaled up to a commercial level, and a pilot demonstration plant which is commercially viable has to be demonstrated in a fully practical environment. So they are eligible to apply, but again, their existing facilities should have no relationship under the work they will be doing in this call.
Okay. Thank you.
So we will take one from online and then get back to you. Okay.
We have Dr. Neha Gar. Dr. Neha, if you could, please.
Yes.
Can you
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Neha Garg and I am here at Aalto University. We are working on recycling of lithium-ion batteries. I have some questions regarding this proposal. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so I think somebody has already asked these questions, but I didn't hear it properly. So I want to know, like in this proposal, it has not been mentioned what type of batteries we need to choose, what chemistries it can be. So is it like open for every type of battery waste? It can be black mass, it can be from the scrap material, or it can be from any type of batteries, whether cylindrical, pouch, or any type of. So is it okay to choose any type of batteries?
Yeah, I think that John's presentation did mention. So we will share the recording of the scope of the call. Basically, we are looking into the EV batteries, but we have kept it quite open in the sense there is no assertion boundaries which were defined. But I'm not a subject specialist, so I will share the presentation of Ron with you. And in case still you have a question after the scope of the call, just drop a line. We can get a clarification on that.
Okay, yeah, that will be good because I have heard only this lithium recovery and the anode or like graphite recovery.
No,
so I was thinking like what chemistry it can.
No, but it is quite large open. So when I discussion with my Brussels colleague, they don't want this specification as such. Okay, it is a wisdom of the scientists to find a solution. Okay, so as long as you are having a comprehensive approach, we are more than encouraged to participate. Okay, so don't limit that to this and that because you are into the actual problem solving state. Yeah.
Yes. And one more question. Sorry.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, one more question regarding this consortium. So it's like as you have mentioned previously, 3 industries should be from EU side and 3 industrial partners should be from Indian side, something like that, right?
No, it is not an industrial partner. The 3 partners from Europe, okay? It could be from industry, it could be from academia, it could be from anything. On the Indian side, the three partners, okay, out of that three partners, one has to be industry because the Indian funding agency, that is MHI, want that the project should be led by industry because it is a pilot plant and they believe that this particular facility can be sustained after the project only at the industry campus and not the academic campuses. That is why they are insisting that the Indian lead should be industry. But as such, there is, there is no this type of organization should be in the consortium. You are free. Industry, academia, anybody who has a capacity to solve the problem. From Indian side, why industry is required?
Yeah, I got your point because the TRL level is 7 to 8, so it should be at the pilot level or like it should be at industry. But like as the both of like this call is from EU side separately, we have to separate we have to submit, and from Indian side it should be separate, right? But from this you said, sorry.
So the project is financially separate, scientifically joint. Okay, what does it mean? The EU side administrative part, that is part A of the proposal, which the EU side will fill up the entire details of that, and the annexes of financial thing which MHI had provided, the Indian side will submit that. The part B, that is the scientific proposal, which has to be jointly developed. Okay, so the part B is the joint part. That is the only thing which is same between both the funding agencies. Okay, so financially different, scientifically joint. I hope I am very clear with that.
Yes, now I got it because I was thinking like if they will be like separate partners, how the proposal, like the main scientific proposal will be combined. But now I got your point. Like I think I am a bit clear. Like so, both of the partners from the from this EU and Indian side, and they will make this consortium and then write the proposal together. It is just the budget wise. It will be it is just budget wise. It is separately from like here and there. Like in EU side, it is different. Okay, got it.
Not explicitly clear, not a bit, because this is the core, and that is what I insisted in my presentation, that the consortium as such is one. Indian and European is one. Financially, they will ask the money to our different agencies, but their ideas, their approach has to be jointly developed. Because the pilot plant is in Indian soil, it cannot be done in isolation. You cannot implement a project with a European which don't have a land in India or which don't have an Indian partner. Or the Indians cannot go asking for money because there is no Indian European partner in it. So the whole marriage will happen in that part B.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is Utkarsh from Batex Energies. I think the call is very well described. Thank you for that. I have just two questions. The first one is regarding the land. So in this call, is it mandatory that the land should be owned by any of the partners, or can it be leased? If leased, what should be the time frame? At least 3 years or more than that?
The land has to be brought in by consortium, may or may not be owned. That is one thing. But since the plant has to be a demonstration plant, so it is not like a plant will run for 2 years and then you can scrap it. It has to remain in operation for 20-25 years. So it is not like you have demonstrated the plant and now you dismantle the plant and return the lease. So that is not allowed. So what Government of India sees is once the project is installed, minimum 2 years is the commercial viability that we are asking. But yes, the plant has to sustain for its design life of say 20-25 years, something like that. So we do not want that it to be an experimental project. It is more of an industrial project.
Understood, sir. Okay, since in chemical we take 12 years of life for the plant, so but when we go for a larger lease, the payment terms are very different for the stamp duty. Second is regarding the IPR. There is a lock-in of 3 years, right? So after 3 years, are the partners or the consortiums, let's say as a consortium, there will be joint applicant.
In the joint application, does MHI will be involved or not?
Joint applicant. So whatever IP is generated under this call, there are three cases. One is IP generated purely by the EU consortium members. So that is governed purely by the EU proposal, and the owners are the EU consortium members themselves. Wherein the IP which is generated explicitly by Indian consortium members under the funding by Government of India, such IP is jointly owned by the Indian members as well as Government of India, and the lock-in period of 3 years is for not to for the consortium member who has developed to benefit him so that he can commercialize and extract the benefits out of that for the initial 3 years after development and commercialization. Once those 3 years are over, that technology has to be given out at the directions of Government of India for benefit of further industry. It can also be given out by the Indian consortium members subject to the consent of Government of India. That is case 2. Now in case 3, whatever IP is generated jointly by by Indian consortium and EU consortium members, such IP has to be, the ownership of such IP has to be recorded in the proposal explicitly, and how it will be commercialized, that has to be proposed by the consortium members from the EU side and the Indian side. So those are the 3 outcomes. I hope I have expressed clearly. Vivekji, anything you would like to add?
No, it is MHI.
Yeah, just a last question and the follow-up. Specifically on the IP, will there be royalties after that once it is after 3 years? And if it is commercialized, then there are certain earnings for the Indian IP.
So the technology developed by the Indian consortium members will not earn any royalty. So it will be given royalty free after the lock-in period at the direction of the Government of India.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take one question from the other participants. This is Antoine Driancourt. I hope I pronounced it correctly. If you could maybe ask your question and introduce yourself briefly. Hello? Okay, I could hear you.
Hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah. So my name is Antoine Driancourt. I am a research engineer at CES, a French research institute active on the battery cycling since now many years. I had a few questions on the financing of this pilot line, as we are expecting to reach a high technology readiness level. It means that we will have to purchase equipments. And the rules for financing of equipments in European projects are related to some specific amortization rules that will limit the funding ratio for financing such equipment. So I wanted to have your view on how this pilot line will be financed to ensure a high funding ratio for industrial partners in Europe that could have an interest in also providing such equipment.
So basically, for the EU side, the funding rate for the profit making is 70 as per the innovation action. I'm not very explicitly clear about the question, but you are asking for the equipment which you will purchase for the installment of the pilot plant. Do you need an additional grant? Could you please repeat or explain me in a bit of details?
Sorry, I didn't really get the sound quality is not.
Okay, could you please repeat your question, please?
Yeah, it's just in Europe. If you purchase an equipment and this equipment is, let's say, 1 million euro, you have to apply some amortization rules, and you cannot request 1 million euro funding for this equipment. It's related to the amortization of the equipment. So, industrial partners for such an equipment will receive a lower amount. So, wanted to know how you see this from the Indian point of view, if equipment cost should be supported by the Indian project, or it's just that European industrial partners are asking us how they will get funding for equipment.
I got your point. Basically, there is no transfer of money from India to Europe or Europe to India. So any equipment which the Europeans will buy and wants to implement in the pilot plant has to be cost into the European budget. Similarly, the Indians which are going to have their own equipments will be there by the Indian side. So basically, each side budget their own equipments in their own funding respective agencies. There is no cross funding possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, one last question. Any? Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself also.
Thank you. So I am a specialist. I am a faculty at IDG. So currently, we are looking into this horizon, this research in EV batteries. We have the partners from Denmark and Africa. So now there are a few things that I would like to know from MHI. The first thing is that since MHI partner says that there has to be industry partners at least.
Sorry, just speak a few.
Yeah. There has to be out of it, there has to be one industry partner. So submission has to be taken by will be done by the industry partner or the chairman?
So the submission will be done by the lead member from the Indian side, which will be an industry. So the submission will be done by the industry partner.
So the 80 and 20 kind of distribution. So 80% of funding has to be done by the MHI. That will be given to the industry partner.
Actually, it will be given to the consortium. The 80% funding is the funding to the consortium, not to any partner. So what will happen is, we are anticipating at least 20% contribution from the consortium. However, the Indian coordinator may or may not take any contribution from the R&D institutes or the R&D partners or universities who are supporting them in the technology development. So MHI releases 80% to the industry partner. Industry partner is free to give up to 100% to the R&D support members, or 80% and proportionately take a contribution. There is no restriction on that.
So basically, it means that industry partner has to also look to the academia partner. So academia partner has to also look to the industry partner. But finally, the fund should be the fund will go to the industry partners, and then this
fund goes to the consortium. Consortium is represented by the leader.
So how many members fund will take place basically?
So it will depend on the proportionate amounts that are being given or that are being pre-decided by the members of the consortium. Suppose it is 70-20-10. 70% is, say, by the industry partner, 20% by member 2, and 10% by member 3. So even though MHI releases entire corpus of 80% to the industry partner, he has to mandatorily divide that into the members.
That should be a part of the proposal.
That has to be a part of the proposal.
Okay. Second question is, since the call is for recycling of EV batteries, so do we need EV batteries made for the e-vehicles or only car only? It's only limited to the car only.
It is actually to all kind of chemistries and all kind of batteries falling under EV batteries. So whether it is NMC or LTO or LFP, all kind of batteries are being looked into it. But yes, it may not be like pouch cells for mobile phones.
Mobile is different, but e-bikes are generally.
But not specifically to any one kind of vehicle. It has to look at all kinds of EV batteries. So it has to incorporate solutions like segregation of batteries of different chemistries or different kind of vehicles and cost.
So one question from my partner from the he asked me this online, but I am not able to hear all of us. So whether we need to go beyond producing a black mass to getting the raw material for making new batteries. Yeah. So the question is whether we need to go beyond producing a black mass to get the raw material for making a new batteries. I hope it's a recycling of the batteries, not making a new batteries.
It's not making a new battery, it is extraction of materials like lithium, cobalt, nickel for the can materials, the extent of extraction and the level of purity. And the impact that you are making in terms of energy, in terms of the environment deterioration, those kind of things will be looked into. And like I think there was one more question, what that no size has been specified. No size has been specified, but the impact of per kilowatt or per megawatt of batteries recycled that will be looked into. And if the impact is for a larger size plant, then the larger size plant will definitely be encouraged. We do not encourage a very small plant which can be dismantled after 4 or 5 years and it has and the money does not give a
You answer 20-25 years to have.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm really sorry. We're quite running late with the pitching session. We have speakers.
Two quick questions.
We can take it after because those who are here on site, after the event closes, there's the possibility to reach out to RPG and Dr. Vivek. But those who are online, they also are. We have to stick to the agenda for them because we're not running already like 20 minutes late. So we don't want to let them go because they have prepared a pitching session presentation. So our first speaker is Professor Satya Tiwari from the IIT Kharagpur. Professor Satya, I see you're putting out your slides already. Thank you so much. The floor is yours. Please unmute your mic and make your slides full screen.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, for organizing this fantastic presentation. My name is Satyabrat Tiwari. I'm an assistant professor in the civil engineering department at IIT Kharagpur, and I'm presenting to seek partners for this excellent opportunity. I have a research experience in Singapore and United States. For the past 6-7 years, I've been focusing on resource recovery from waste material. So my research focus would be on hydrobiolometallurgical processing of black mass, which is very relevant for this project call. These are the expertise which I can offer. I have worked extensively on extraction technologies, which starts with processing of environmental samples, suppose like size reduction or segregation based on sizes. Then I've worked on acid and alkaline leaching. I have also worked on thermochemical processes such as pyrolysis and hydrothermal treatment. I have extensively worked on characterization techniques, which involve advanced analytical instruments such as spectroscopic, spectrometric, and colorimetric methods. I have worked on black mass characterization at NIST in the United States. And generally, environmental samples have complex chemistries. So I feel like I can handle complex chemistry of black mass quite well. As I mentioned, I have worked on resource recovery, which involved recovery of critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, nickel from black mass. And as a PhD student, I worked on phosphorus recovery from sewage sludge. What IIT Kharagpur can offer, we have cutting edge and affordable experimental and computational infrastructure. It's one of the best in India. We attract some of the most talented students as masters and PhD students. And we have, because IIT Kharagpur is one of the oldest technical institutions, it's very mature. We have many research directions which are being pursued, and I think we can leverage if required. It's a 2,000-acre campus owned by IIT Kharagpur. So we have space to set up and scale up processes. I heard that it might not be possible because the organization or the people who are overseeing want the industry partner to do the scale up. But if required, we have the facility. And we offer a strong platform for EU-India collaborative projects. IIT has a huge brand name. It's famous across the world and it will offer visibility and value. What I'm looking for collaborative partners. If you are looking for battery recycling or black mass processing, I can offer my expertise. I can help in pilot demonstrations and process scale-up. and I'm open to collaboration with both Indian and EU partners. These are my contact details. You can scan the QR, and I have shared my details on the chat box as well, and I'll be happy to collaborate later also. So thank you from my side. Yeah.
So Professor Satya, for a comprehensive presentation and your expertise. Our next presenter is Dr. Neha Garg, who she already introduced herself earlier in the Q&A session. She's from the Department of Chemistry and Material Science, Aalto University, Finland. Dr. Neha, if you could share your slides with us. So Dr. Neha, slides are on.
Yeah.
If you could start, please start with your presentation.
Okay. So am I audible now?
Yeah, just make your slides in full screen mode, I think.
Okay. So now I have shared my slides. I hope you can see it, right?
Yeah, everything is visible now. Just if you can put them in full screen mode, I think that would be the best. Otherwise, you can just start.
Is it okay?
Yes. Yes.
Hi. Yes. Okay. So hi. My name is Neha Garg. I have done my PhD from IIT Delhi 10 years ago, and now I am working here at Aalto University. I have more than 8-year experience in this battery field. So I have worked in an industry regarding lithium-ion battery and sodium-ion battery, and now at Aalto University we are working at recycling of lithium-ion batteries. So our expertise of this department is like we are working on different types of circular economy of energy storage devices. This is my email ID and my LinkedIn contact if you want to contact me. So yes, so when we are, I will give you just a brief intro slides about the waste material. So when we are talking about the battery waste or mixed battery waste, it is not like a single type of battery or single chemistry. It is a kind of these mixed battery waste, and because of these residual voltage, we every time we hear lots of these fire hazardous news or like these fire accidents. So the basic information is like when we are talking about recycling of lithium-ion batteries, as this call also mentioned, like first we have to discharge the batteries. So what is the main expertise of our group? It's like we are working on this electrochemical discharge, which is very safe, quick, and inexpensive. We are not talking about sodium chloride brine solution. So we are working on different kind of inorganic aqueous solutions where batteries are not corroded and batteries are a safe discharge to below safe voltage region. And why we are focusing on this electrochemical discharge? Because it enables pre-treatment steps, and that preserves electrode integrity for direct recycling, because our main goal is for direct recycling, because we want these lithium and other critical raw materials as pure as we can. So how this electrochemical discharge support direct recycling? We have recently published also our research. So in this electrochemical discharge, we have observed that the electrode integrity is, we have preserved electrode integrity, both cathode and anode as well. And these anode and cathode materials can be reused for the new batteries. So it's just like as this call, it proposes like what are the objectives. So the production scrap can be mixed battery waste, it can be black mass, or it can be end of life lithium-ion battery packs and cells. We have also been partnered in different EU proposals. So we have a bit experience about the this electrochemical discharge, or also we are working with different recycling companies in EU, basically in Norway and Sweden. And if we are talking about some preliminary project structure or pre-plan, so it can add these kind of steps. Yes, and this is our group at Aalto University, and I'm happy to connect if anybody contacts me, and we are looking for the collaboration from both EU side and India side to to use our expertise and to do the battery recycling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neha. Our next speaker is Pranav Kohli from the Head Public Affairs team, local Clean Tech. Are you here with us? Yes, I can see you. Could you kindly share your slides?
Sorry, can you repeat the name? So, what are you calling upon?
Pranav Kohli.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, hi, ma'am. Are you able to share your slides?
Yes, let me share my slides. I was waiting for any questions for Dr. Garg, but I guess.
Yeah, we're not taking any questions. Otherwise, I think we will finish at 15 o'clock today. So we're just trying to complete the teaching session. So yeah, please share your slides.
Yes, just a second.
If not possible, ma'am, we can try to share it from our end.
Sure, so if you could do that, please. I'm having some difficulty accessing the share this thing.
Of course. Just give us a second. You had sent us your presentation, right?
Yes, I think we had shared it earlier. Let me try sharing again from my end.
Okay, it's over there. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I think, first and foremost, thank you to MHI and all the relevant stakeholders, your access as well, for putting together today's discussion and, information sharing on the call for proposals itself. I wanted to, take this opportunity to briefly introduce Loham and the work that we've been doing on recycling, refining, as well as now manufacturing, and would very much be keen to engage with both Indian and European counterparts to develop a joint proposal for submission under this initiative. We have a few proposals that our team is already working on, but would be happy to discuss with the additional stakeholders as well. So I think we can move on to the next slide in the interest of time. So Loham has established capabilities in India. We operate across 4 key states, so Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, as well as Gujarat, and we are processing lithium, nickel, cobalt from secondary sources, primarily lithium-ion batteries, e-waste, as well as catalytic converters and spent catalysts. We're also doing this from rare earth permanent magnets. We have also now moved into processing of lithium, nickel, cobalt, as well as rare earth and platinum group metals. So if you could move on to the next slide, please. This is a bit of our existing capabilities. So next, please. Next. So we are an R&D and tech-driven organization with our R&D center being in Greater Noida itself. We have about more than 18 patents across different R&D projects that we have already achieved, and we have 35 plus that are already in the pipeline as well. So if you could move on to the next slide, please. This again speaks to our footprint, which I initially mentioned. We're present across 5 key clusters in 5 key states. And the proposal that we are developing under this initiative will be in Uttar Pradesh itself, given that our capabilities are already present here, and most of our battery recycling already happens in the state itself. So next slide, if you may. Next, please. So this is a snapshot of all the critical minerals that we work in. As far as battery recycling is concerned, we're focused on 3: lithium, nickel, and cobalt. We're looking at graphite and carbon as well. That project is ongoing. And like I mentioned, we're looking at a few others from different sources. If you move on to the next slide, that will be in there as well. These are the secondary sources in which we are currently present, either already have established capacity or are establishing capacity where TRL level is between 3, 4, 5 and awaiting commercialization. So if you could please move to the next slide. These are some of the products that we focus on as well, and we would be keen to collaborate with industry partners to develop a pilot line specifically for recycling of diversified sources under this proposal. That's it from my side, please.
So much, Ms. Bhavani. Next presenter is Mr. Praveen Jyoti, founder of the startup Mr. Praveen, could you kindly share your slides?
Sure. So would it be possible to share, because it's asking me to quit and restart sharing?
Share from our side. Yes. The slides are
So I'm not able to see the slides. Is the slides are?
Just 1 second. Just opening. Okay, please go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for the good presentation and explaining the ongoing tender. So my name is Praveen Paranjyoti. So I'm the founder of Startup Europe India Network. So we are a private EU-India growth platform. So we bring together senior leaders, operators, and organizations to drive technology growth between the markets. So I'm born, raised in India, so been working across Europe for the last 20 years. So across Germany, France, Luxembourg, worked with European institutions such as Siemens, Nokia, and also worked for the European institution, the European Investment Bank Group. So we understand the European side of how the Commission works and how the different markets work. And we also understand how India executes. So for this call, so we're focusing on the Indian consortium that we can credibly execute on the market in India. So we would like to seek other compatible Indian partners, but also other European partners. So if you can move on to the next slide. So our project idea for this, so which will evolve from based on the information that we received today as well. The Indian consortium will drive the technological innovation, but also the collection, sorting, the diagnostics, and the material recovery process. So since this project requires to be executed on the Indian soil, so we're looking at European partners who can complement on the IP side and also the technological innovation side, so as the project requires. So we're looking at one European partner who could be the lead coordinator on the European side, so who can, of course, coordinate on the European grant. So we have participated in some of the European projects in the past, and there's an important lead role on the European side, which is also key to sort of the project success. So we were looking for someone who has been there, done that at the TRL, rates. So what we would like to propose from our side is certainly that we integrate the upstream state of health assessment. So before anything goes to recycling, so we look at the second life of the batteries. So if it's eligible for second life, we coordinate to that, and if not, then we look at recycling. So we're looking at covering both mixed chemistries, LFPs, and NMCs, so which the call is focused on. And also certainly we're looking at future focused sodium ion chemistries, and which is also given India's trends in the lithium dependency of India. So there's something that is key as mentioned in the call. So we could also coordinate the feedstock coming for from India's two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and the EV fleets. So we have senior industry expert with direct experience working in the battery recycling operations. So at the industrial scale in India currently. So we're looking at the full-scale hydrometallurgical process technology here. And we also have a partner in the second life technology. So with proven SOH diagnostics and second life deployment at a commercial scale here in India. So we're also in discussions with some of the IIT researchers. We are in discussions with OEM partners who could potentially provide us with the feedstock for both from the commercial speeds and potentially manufacturing scrap as well. So this is the Indian side. So we are evolving into a nice and strong consortium there. So we heard something about the land today, so how the land could be contributed. So we have identified some land facilities that could be a potential pilot for India, so which needs to be further evolved based on the call requirements. So the project concept, will evolve together with the European partners. If you could move on to the next slide. So as I mentioned earlier, so we're looking out for 3 European partners as a minimum. So as also the call requires. So one is an experienced coordinator, so who can essentially handle the European projects and coordinate on that end. And we're looking at the second partner, a recycle process technology partner. So with proven hydrometallurgical or direct recycling process. So we heard some of the, from some of the potential partners from the European side. So we'd love to have a chat on that. Essentially, we're looking at delivering CAM-grade lithium, cobalt, and from NMC Chemistries, and also battery-grade graphite. So certainly a number of this IP could come from the European side. So a strong partner or an institution from the European side would be interesting. So we bring in the operational expertise, having been on the ground for more than 10 years for different partners executing at different levels at commercial scale as well. And the third partner certainly would be desirable from the European institution. It could be a research institution or a national lab. So, of course, as you know, that they benefit from the 100% funding rate for non-for-profits and research institutions on the European side. So we're seeking essentially the European partners. We are evolving a nice consortium on the Indian side, and we're certainly open to discuss also with potential other Indian partners. So if you can move on to the next slide. So those are my contact details. So you can drop us an email. So I also in the chat put my contact numbers as well. So you can certainly send us a message or just call. So we're looking forward to working with some of you and also have bilateral discussions as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Praveer, for presenting your organization and which kind of partners you're looking and your expertise for this call. And next speaker is Dr. Chandana Ravikumar from Charles University, Czech Republic. Yes, Dr. Chandana, good afternoon, and I see you already started sharing.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yeah, so we see your desk screen, but not the presentation.
Okay, just a moment. Okay, now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and thank you, platform connecting the European and the Indian stakeholders. And my name is Dr. Chandana Ravikumar. I'm from Charles University in Czech Republic. And together with Dr. Anna from the Czech Technical University in Prague, we are presenting our expertise in optimize the black mass recovery and AI-driven digital twin systems for circular battery technology. Represent complementary institutions here in Czech Republic, the Charles University and the Czech Technical University. Both are in Prague, and our collaboration combines experimental battery recycling, material characterization, computational modeling, and digital engineering, like the digital twin systems. And a little bit about myself is I'm a Marie Curie postdoctoral fellow, and I'm working on the advanced material physics and finite element modeling, along with AI-driven digital twin systems. And previously, I've worked with the University Center for Energy Efficient Buildings, which is also in Prague. And I've worked on multiple Czech national projects, including the SafeBat and AMCAN projects, which focus on battery management systems. And I've lived in the EU since 2018. I've done my master's and PhD here in Europe, and I've been part of multiple EU projects and written many grant proposals, one of which was the Marie Curie actions, which got accepted last year. And also I got a chance to serve as the coordinator of the Indian Students Association in Czechia. So we represent more than 5,000 Indian students, and we're also recently joined as the board member of the Czechia India Chamber of Commerce. And that is why we are super excited about this consortium, because this totally aligns with what we have in mind and actively helps us contribute to this India-EU scientific and academic collaborations. So a little bit about the Battery and Energy Storage System Research Group at Czech Technical University. And the group was established in 2022 within the Faculty of Electrical Engineering. And it's led by Dr. Václav, and he previously spent over 10 years at Aalborg University in Denmark. And the group focuses on battery diagnostics, degradation analysis, EV battery systems, and energy storage applications. And mainly we have 4 components of the group, and we have high-tech laboratories that include, sorry, I'll just quickly go back to the last slide. Yes, that includes the high current battery cyclers, multiple climate chambers, cell-to-pack level testing systems, and degradation analysis platforms, which are seen in this picture. And the team also studies the electrical behavior and thermal behavior and the stress factor analysis, including state of charge, C-rate effects, and so on. So, and the research also extends to the practical battery applications part, including e-mobility, stationary storage systems, industrial energy systems, CubeSats, etc. And the system level understanding is also important because the future recycling ecosystems must connect these components together. So highlighting the work of Dr. Anna is the recycling that she has focused on during her PhD dissertation. And it actually, the major innovation is the patented non-invasive discharge method for lithium-ion batteries. And more about it is given in the patent application. And basically, the system uses a conductive metal fragments that are immersed in the cooling liquid to safely discharge the batteries before shredding and material recovery. So the technology demonstrates discharge below 1 volt within approximately 30 minutes. So there's basically no thermal runaway, no sparking, no electrolyte leakage, which is mostly the problem with conventional discharging. So this is a highly promising industrial scale EV battery pre-treatment and black mass engineering that improves the purity by 10% and up to the reduction in the lead consumption would be up to 15%, which is also comparatively at par with most of the industrial companies that are proving to do these researches. So the improved black mass quantity and the quality can potentially increase the downstream hydrometallurgical recovery selectivity by up to 20%. So this is the latest work that is being done in our lab that shows these results. So the current recycling workflow includes 5 major pre-treatment stages: the discharge, assembly, crushing and material separation, and thermal treatment. So the final output is the optimized black mass, which is extremely important because that is where the consortium combines with the experimental recycling expertise and with the computation and digital optimization, which we offer in the Charles University. And here we focus on the environmentally safer discharge approaches. So conventional salt water discharge methods can create the electrolyte leakage and contamination. So the current work investigates eco-friendly discharge systems and wastewater minimization and safer industrial pre-treatment pathways. So we are also implementing this research and studying the recycling plant implementation scenarios across Czechia. And the work includes life cycle assessment, material flow analysis, climate impact, resource recovery, and critical raw material evaluation. And the final product considered in these scenarios is black mass, which serves as the feedstock for downstream metallurgical recovery. So this work also includes prediction of future EV battery waste systems in Czechia, and the analysis focuses on material flows for lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, copper, aluminium, sodium, and also graphite. So this slides particularly shows my contribution to the consortium. So as a finite element simulation specialist, here I would plan to develop the digital twin for the battery recycling ecosystem, because it's also part of my Marie Curie project. And I would use advanced physics-based multiphysics simulations by combining ANSYS and COMSOL multiphysics tools with the electrochemical, thermal, CFD, black mass process models that aim to predict the battery behavior. So our work focuses on creating an industrial scale digital infrastructure for smarter and more efficient recycling. In addition, we contribute expertise in process engineering and AI-assisted recycling routes. So building upon the experimental recycling research that happens at Czech Technical University. And here I have a little bit about my training in COMSOL multiphysics modeling and some examples that we have recently published. And yeah, so this is a brief summary of the battery recycling ecosystem. And Dr. Anna was also previously involved in activities connected with battery reverse logistics and circular battery systems with Skoda Auto and Battery Reverse EU projects that we can get inspired from and build upon our projects. So one of the most important upcoming EU regulations is the battery passport, which is also something that we would want to implement in our consortium as well. So we are looking forward to building this together with our partners. And yeah, basically these are our current partners. Czechia is one of the widening countries, and the priority is given to widening countries during evaluation. And since we are familiar with the Indian researchers and the professionals at the Chamber of Commerce, with the Indian Embassy also involved in Prague, so we are happy to be the project coordinators from the EU side, along with our European partners and universities and industries. So we are looking to actively build the EU-India consortium, and we are looking forward to collaborate with recycling companies, battery manufacturers, AI and digitalization experts, hydrometallurgy researchers, battery passport specialists especially, and all these industrial collaborations from India. So to conclude, our consortium vision combines the advanced battery pretreatment, optimized black mass engineering, and computational modeling with the digital twin systems. So we believe this integrated EU collaboration can contribute significantly to the next generation Industry 4.0 recycling systems. So here are our details if you want to get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johanna. I'm very happy to have also here with us today. Now we still have a little bit of time, Reggie, so we can take one or two on spot pitch presentations. If somebody in the room would like to make a short pitch, and we can take one virtually, I would say. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so sir, would you like to? Yeah, I see you already have the mic on you, so.
Mic.
Good afternoon, good morning to all. My name is Shogotapal. I'm working with ICAT in the innovation research. So basically, for the clarification of all the participants, the questions are like this.
This is not a question. It's if you can pitch questions we can take after in the tea and coffee. Yeah, would you like to pitch?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Can I?
So we just have one in the room, and then you can pitch next, Dr. Abhinav. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi everyone. This am I audible?
No, but the people online will not able to hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear him.
Hi everyone, this is Aman Vairav. I'm part of the company called ICAT Logistics. We provide battery passport solutions in India and in EU. We are essentially a platform who wants to move and connect with governments, the experts everywhere. We are into multiple domains, specifically in EV battery passports. We want to be the layer where you are directly coordinating with OEMs, and we want to link you to that so that the plant or the pilot we are setting up that becomes viable in the long run. Essentially, that I did share my PPT. I'm not going to find it here, but I would like to I'll give my PPT to them so that they can share it with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, I'll give you my email and we will share the PPT with the you also would like? Okay. Yes.
So, my name is Mohini Tiwari, and I'm working at a company, Maxford Trier, which is a subsidiary of Maxford Energy Industries Limited, which is an NSE listed company in India. So we are basically working on refining of critical minerals from lithium-ion battery packs. So in one part of the company, which is Maxford Energy Industries Limited, we do manufacture lithium battery packs. And in the second part of the company, which we have recently launched in the beginning of this year, we are recycling those lithium-ion batteries because we are already EPR registered manufacturing company. So we are actively looking for some academia partners to collaborate with us in refining of those critical minerals. I currently do not have any slides, but I will share them as soon as possible, and we'll be happy to collaborate with any of the academia partners.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And Dr. Abhinav?
Yeah. I'm just sharing the presentation. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah. Kindly introduce yourself as well to the audience.
Yeah, very quickly I'll do that. Just give me a second. I will set this up. You're able to see the presentation, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Abhinav Mathur. I am on the advisory board of this company called Atero Recycling. We have been in the space of lithium-ion batteries for quite some time. We do both electrical and electronic waste recycling and do lithium-ion battery recycling. Our capacity is close to 144,000 tons of, e-waste, and close to 20,000 tons of lithium-ion batteries is what we recycle. We are able to extract lithium, cobalt, nickel, graphite, manganese, copper, aluminum, and titanium from these. And the purity levels are significant, but we would like to actually increase the purity level so that they can match the requirements of the battery industry and the circularity loop could be completed. We continue to do a lot of research and development. We have a research and development facility in Greater Noida where we have employed close to around 40 odd people who are deployed, looking at new technologies, looking at new ways in which we can extract materials in a more sustainable and a scientific manner. We have been in business since 2008, and we are continuing to even partner with new technology companies, people who are building new battery technologies so that we can create the recycling technology for the same in much in advance. One area which we are also very focused on, and I'm very happy to note is a part of UTTC, is the informal sector integration into the sort of entire value chain. In fact, we are working on a proposal along with the Ministry of Mines to figure out if we can have a collection mechanism which can directly source waste of electrical nature, electrical, electronics, and lithium-ion batteries directly from consumers and from bulk consumers. So that's something which is of great interest to us. Additionally, we have already got some 46 patents actually in the various technologies that we have worked on. We also extract graphite, which is one of the focus areas of this particular call. However, we are not yet been able to refine it to the grade at which it can be used directly into batteries. That is something that we continue to focus on. So very, very keen to actually look at partners who are looking for a matured company which has some defined processes, some early successes, and significant scale, so that we can create a pilot plant which can really end-to-end actually look at creating the materials which can go back into batteries. We have successfully also developed PCAM material with academic institutions. Maybe this scheme, this particular plant could further that also if that is allowed. So that's broadly what my input was. We have also shown significant improvements from a GHG emission perspective. We save 98%, 92%, respectively when we develop lithium carbonate in comparison to virgin mining from hard rock and brine, and various other materials as well. And we have continued to also develop technologies for new batteries. In fact, we did work with a particular automobile manufacturer where we started to extract titanium, and today we are probably the only people who are able to extract titanium from LTO batteries, at least in India, if not globally. We continue to subject ourselves to significant certifications, and so therefore we are we have done a life cycle analysis. We have done RJC compliance, RCS compliances, etc. as well. So broadly that's what I wanted to cover today. Thank you so much for your time, and any questions I will be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Dr. Avinath. And with that, thank you so much, Dr. Avinath. And with that, we take one final pitching in the room, if there is. Otherwise, I see there is a hand raised, and that's Sharmeen Singh. I will just Ms. Sharmeen, if you would like to make a short pitch. Because you raise your hand for that. Okay, maybe that's not the number for that. I would say it's 5 o'clock. We have been quite efficient. It has been very interesting. Yeah, that's the next I want to introduce. So now I would like to ask Antonio Marquez Camacho, who is a policy officer at the DGR European Commission, for giving the concluding remarks for today's information networking event. Antonio, very happy to have you with us.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Hello to everyone. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just a few words of closing from my side from Brussels, from the headquarters of the European Union. I'm Antonio Marquez. I'm working in the International Cooperation Unit of DG Research and Innovation of the European Commission. So we have been working very closely with the Indian side, and of course in cooperation with the delegation of the European Union in India to finalize this call, the preparation for this call. We're very happy that this is now launched, that you have had the opportunity now to discuss and to learn more about the call. We have now, of course, some time to prepare proposals. So I think I will be very excited to see the proposals that we will receive for the call. And maybe also just more also to provide a little bit the political dimension. Just of course to underline that this call is of course very important per se in terms of the research that we intend, the collaborative research that we intend to support. The topic has been agreed by both sides as relevant for the cooperation in our areas of research and innovation. But of course, in addition to that, it's also taking place in the framework of our EU-India Trade and Technology Council, which is providing since 2023 a wider frame for cooperation in areas connected to trade, to technology, to areas, of course, linked to green and clean energy technologies, such as battery recycling. So it is very important that it is in this framework that we are being able to work together to, as I said, to prepare jointly this call, and hopefully to have a very good result in terms of the collaborative research that will come from this call. And just of course to underline that also there is a lot of expectations from the political side in this context. We have of course now in a few, it's been recently confirmed, we will have in July a meeting of the what we call Trade and Technology Council ministerial meeting. So it will be at the highest level from the Indian side and from the European Union side in Brussels on the 15th of July. And we will of course review the progress so far under our areas of cooperation. And of course we will underline that we have now this call ongoing. Of course, by that time we will still not know the result, but of course we will politically, I think that will be very much welcome that indeed there is this action launched, that there will be a lot of, as I can see already from the discussion today, and I think the other meetings, the other networking events that are going to be taking place in the next few days. There is a lot of expectation and a lot of interest. So I think that this will be underlined politically. So I just wanted from my side to give you a little bit more of this overall framework in which we are working. So to, of course, encourage and invite every interested team to hopefully prepare good proposals, and then we will of course see in a few months from now which will be the end result in terms of the collaborative research that we can jointly support under this call. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for the concluding remarks and for joining us from Brussels. And I think it has been an excellent session, Ankitji. Yeah, I will do that. We want to thank, of course, again, the host institution today, and also all of you who came to answer, and of course, all the participants who joined online. A big thank you to all the presenters today. We are, as Antonio mentioned, going to continue info networking sessions together with the Ministry of Heavy Industries. We will go to Pune and Bangalore, 28 and 29. We will have hybrid events there. For those of you who have joined today, you are most welcome to join us virtually also. We hope to see you maybe in Bangalore as well. So we can continue the discussions. We see that there's been a very active Q&A because it's a very specific call, there are technical aspects. And so if you would like to, continue with us, join us in the next days in Pune and Bangalore. I would also ask Ankitji to give also the concluding remarks from the ministry side. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek and Samratji, and all the participants and our host, Dr. Chandrasekhar, COO from ICAT, for giving us this platform for conducting the networking event and facilitating the success of this call with the EU under the PTC. I would also like to thank Dr. Antonio, who has joined us from Brussels. And it has been a really wonderful and quite an engaging session. A lot of enthusiasm from all the participants, and both from academia as from industry. So we see as Government of India that a lot of success in this going ahead. We foresee participation, similar participation in the upcoming events in Pune and Bangalore. And I would request like Dr. Samrat said, that the participants are requested, or it may be better if they can also join in the online mode for the sessions in Pune and Bangalore, so that they can reach out to more of the industry and academia partners who would be subsequently joining for those sessions. Thank you once again, ICAT and EU, and people joining us from EU side on the online mode. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I think we conclude here officially. There will be some tea and coffee for the participants on site, so we can continue the discussions. And for those of you joining us from India, a very good evening, and those from Europe, a very good afternoon. And looking forward to seeing you in Pune and Bangalore again. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.